Hey, you're watching Wired Up Retro. This is episode 55, and today's episode is all about a new adapter that allows PC controllers, the 15-pin variety, to work on the Atari 5200 console. And it's a really nice little compact adapter. I'm showing it to you here. This is made by an eBayer who goes by the handle Ikonsgr 74. He's also an Atariage member. He goes there by Ikonsgr. It's Ikonsgr. Now, on Atariage, there's a member there who's going by the handle bohoki, who for a number of years has made a very nice quality PC 15-pin to Atari 5200 controller adapter. He's made these of a variety of different types. I have two different designs of his for that adapter. Over the past year and a half or so, these haven't been made, and so there's kind of a little bit of a blank spot in the 5200 community. New people are coming on board wanting to collect the 5200 and use new controllers, have not been able to use the PC 15-pin controllers until now. And today I am here to just announce there is a new version of it. It's a revision, and it's a little bit more compact, and it's definitely a very good quality product. I can vouch for John out there in Greece. He makes great products, and I've purchased items from his eBay store for the past 5 years or so and had always good quality results, and I would vouch for him. All right, now I actually have the prototype of this adapter, and he doesn't have a 5200, so he sent it to me to test it, and I've had great results with it. It works just like the original adapter that I purchased right back around 2015, so that's the good news. All right, so I did feature that bohoki adapter back on Wired Up Retro number 1, also talked about it quite a bit in episode number 6. And one of the controllers that I used with it is the Gyrus PC Gamepad Pro. And this Gamepad Pro is basically a very nice quality controller. I really enjoy using this to play Defender and a number of other games. It's a D-pad controller and really kind of looks like a PlayStation controller. So anyway, if you haven't invested in a Gamepad Pro, if you have this adapter, I would definitely recommend that you do. Another controller that's shown in Wired Up Retro number 6 is the Pad PC, and this is not only a D-pad controller, but it also has a thumbstick on board, and you can switch between digital and analog controls. There's a little switch on the controller that does that. So I would say this is one of the very few controllers that on the Atari 5200 has an analog stick, and it's a nice one. It's kind of asymmetric, as you can tell here. So if you want a more symmetrical controller, I'm going to be showing off another controller in a few minutes that will, I think, scratch that itch. Now, here you can see me playing pole position on the Atari 5200 with that controller called the Ultra Racer PC. And again, this is from Wired Up Retro number 6. Definitely works well. Now, here's a unique controller that I've demonstrated. I'm playing Missile Command on the 5200 with it. It's called the Vortex 3D. And the Vortex 3D is definitely a unique controller. I would say definitely not like any other controller in that it is a gamepad attached to a base that has analog tilting controls. It's kind of like both a steering wheel and a flight yoke. I really like this controller, and for even playing pole position as a steering wheel type controller, it works well. And it has a spring back function as well, so that's nice. It's definitely unique. Now, in Wired Up Retro video number 31, I showed a few different game pads. I want to show you these right now. The ProPad 3000 is made by Inland. This kind of looks like a Genesis controller. Now, we also have the Logitech gamepad, and then there's this European gamepad that's very similar to a Nuon controller made by Samsung. So all very interesting. I also showed the Micro Vigilante in that episode, and it has microswitches in the D-pad, which makes it kind of unique. Now, here are some of my PC joysticks I want to show off. The PC Raider, it's pretty compact, nice little joystick. Flight stick. This is my 2-button Wiko joystick, and a few others. And some of this is from Wired Up Retro number 24. Now, I also want to include the Cyclone 3D joystick, which I'm using to play Rescue on Fractalus. Definitely a nice larger size joystick that's fully analog capable. Now I do have some controllers that I haven't shown on Wired Up Retro that are PC 15-pin connector controllers. So I do want to show those off a little bit today. One of those is this one. It's got Indianapolis 500 on the front, and it definitely is unique. It's got this little trigger. If you put your index finger on top and your middle finger below, you can do pulling down will go to do one function, and then pulling this way will do the other. So you're going to be using this hand and this hand to do steering for steering games, racing games. You could also use it on games like River Raid, where you're just going left and right, or maybe Dreadnought Factor. Maybe even it would work well on meteorites, possibly. As long as you can go forward, I would assume that maybe this can do forward. I'm going to have to check that out. But yeah, it definitely is an interesting controller. It's kind of fragile, because this is a little tiny piece of plastic, and I figure if you dropped it, this might not last very long. Now another controller I want to show you is a Radio Shack controller. It goes by the catalog number 26-446. So again, we got the PC 15-pin connector, and it's got a thumbstick as well as a D-pad. And you know, I had mentioned before that there's a controller that has microswitches in it called the Micro Vigilante. Well, this one does as well. This must have been a fad back in the 90s to have microswitches in a D-pad. This is a very uncommon feature, so I kind of like it because it's cool. But it does have a switch. You switch from the analog thumbstick to the D-pad by switching this up and down. It also has some auto fire features. The downside of this controller, unfortunately, is that the fire buttons are here and here for the 5200 when you're plugged into this adapter made by either bohoki or Ikonsgr 74. So in some games, it's not a big deal. You're just going to be pressing that while you're using the thumbstick. Like on pole position, you're going to be pressing that the whole time. It's not a big deal. But on some games where you're going to be click, click, clicking and moving your thumb on the analog stick, that just is really challenging. So I have made an adapter that converts this and that button to become this and that button, the C and D button on the face of the controller. So I made this adapter with solderless connectors, and basically if you take a look here, I'm just showing you on one end here. This is a solderless connector that I wired up. Just, you know, use a regular wire or cord with about maybe 10 wires inside, and wire up the one side with the male connector a certain way, and then if you wire up the female side the very same way, it's just an extension cord. But what you don't want, you really don't want an extension cord. What you want to do is to swap out the pins of 2 and 7, which are these analog trigger buttons, to become pins 10 and 14. And that's pretty easy to do with a solderless connector. All right, so once you've got this connected, you'll be able to play a variety of different kinds of games. I really like this controller. It's very symmetric. Now there's another controller I want to show you that I've never shown on my channel before. It's a PC controller I picked up a couple of months ago, probably around December or so. This is known as the USA Identity Systems Joystick. That's the only name I can see on it. USA Identity Systems. Now, you know, it looks like just a plain old PC joystick, right? Well, in a way, you're right, but one neat thing about it is that the buttons aren't only on the stick, but you also got buttons on the base, which I like quite a bit. So I like it. It definitely has suction cups, which is cool if you're putting it on a base, a table. This will definitely work well, but it also works well in the hand, thanks to you having those buttons to click. All right, another one I want to show off here is this one. This is the Quick Shot QS172A. And this controller kind of looks like an arcade kind of controller, but it's got a large throw to the stick. I have actually shown this on one of my other Wired Up Retro videos when I was showing it off with the 2600 and maybe the 7800. But this is great for playing Centipede, and it is fully analog, so your Centipede shooter will go slow and fast, and all directions work great. This is A and B, works well. I really like this controller for Centipede. All right, another controller that I have shown actually in one of my other videos, is another thumbstick controller, but this one's just digital only, it's not analog. So this might work for games that accept digital input. This is actually a removable thumbstick, and it actually has a place to plant it right in the center of the body of the controller. Just kind of click it in there and it stays put. And then you have a D-pad controller. So it's very unique, it's got that U shape. I kind of like the way it feels. It definitely feels good in the hands. I would definitely recommend this, especially if you're into more thumbsticks than D-pad controllers. This is the Cytec P120. Nice controller. Another Cytec that I own is the ST50 action stick and throttle, and I even have the box obviously on this one. Let me open it up and we'll pull this out and show it off. All right, so you know, Cytec sticks have definitely a unique feel to them. This is a 15-pin early Cytec joystick. It's got the suction cups, which makes it nice. And it's even got a throttle. Some of these controllers have the throttle, but it won't work on the 5200. The throttle's kind of just an inactive piece of the equipment. This is where you're going to be mainly, you're using one of these and then the trigger to fire on your game. So neat controller. I definitely like Cytec controllers because they're just really good quality. Okay, so another one I want to show you is this Reveal controller. This is definitely unique. It's just a D-pad controller. And it's got a weird shape. You can kind of wrap your hands around it. I kind of like that about it. It's also got a switch on the back, a couple different switches. I think this one probably is the one that allows you to flip it over this way and use the right thumb on your D-pad. So it's, you know, switchable. And there's another one that does that too. That's called the Gyrus PC gamepad. And that's kind of nice. That one actually has a little joystick you can screw into the D-pad if you don't want to use the D-pad, you want to use the thumbstick, joystick. It definitely is a very good controller. Okay, so now I want to show off Frogger. This game can be played with the stick, but another way to play it that a lot of people don't realize they can play on the 5200, this stick's kind of a non-centering, well, it centers to some degree or another, but it is sometimes challenging to play games with this. This game, if you were using the stick, your frog would just basically, you point the direction you want the frog to hop, then you hit the button. And then you have to just constantly be in that mode of hopping with the button while pointing with the stick. Now another way to play it though, and a lot of people don't know this, if you press O on the keypad, it switches from joystick to keypad. So let's play it that way. If you had the keypad overlay, you could definitely see which buttons to press. I'm kind of used to it, but I'm not really good at the game. All right, there we go. And up, up, up. There we go. So yeah, it works with the keypad, which is pretty cool. And you can get used to it. It's really not that bad. I love Frogger. Such a great game. See if we can get that fly. Oh, please don't disappear. I think I got him. Yeah. Another thing I want to show you, this game, by the way, you can't pause Frogger because I guess Parker Brothers decided that it wouldn't be fair because you could cheat if you were pausing it because this is a time-intensive game. There we go. So I kind of do want to pause the game so I can show you something. I will in a moment. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get that way over there on the left. Oh, oops. All right. I'm going to unplug the 5200 controller from this. By the way, when you buy this end that your 5200 controller plugs into is a little too small to fit that plug. So you're going to have to, I'm showing you some images here of me wrenching open the metal a little bit wider. Just be careful when you do it, that you don't damage the pins. It's really a pretty simple method that I'm using there. You could use the same method. It'll work great. Okay. All right, so this is a controller made by Wiko. It's the command control keypad that goes with the command control joystick. The joystick plugs in here, but we're not going to plug that joystick in here. Again, we're just going to use this keypad to play Frogger. So you just plug it in right here and make sure you're not on joystick but keypad, and we'll play the game with the keypad. See if I can do a little better this time. Now the nice thing about the actual 5200 controller is that you have the ability to stick keypad overlays in there, but this doesn't give you that opportunity. There we go. The tough spot. Oh, splash. Yeah, you'd think he could swim, but they say in the instruction manual of Frogger that the current overwhelms him, and that's why every time he falls in the water he dies. It's the current. Okay. Got it. You really do have to get used to this keypad thing. There we go. That was close. That was close. Yay, I finally made it through. Okay, so let's move on to a different game with a different controller, and we'll see what we come up with. Okay, let's give pole position a try. I have plugged in my Indianapolis 500 Power Grip handheld racing wheel, and we'll get it going here. So, what I've determined is they press one of these buttons, and now you're in low gear. I'm going to switch to high by pressing the trigger a little bit. Whew, close. It feels pretty good. I really like the feel of this. Quite a treat, actually. Oh man, so close. Okay, put it back in low gear. Trigger for high. Definitely has really nice analog control. The steering wheel feels like a steering wheel. All right, 7th place. Hey, you know, it could have been worse. It could have been 8th. All right, let's play a different game with a different controller. Okay, we got Jungle Hunt up, and I've got this Radio Shack gamepad that I want to show you. I'll use the D-pad. That clicky D-pad is the digital mode. And I've got it plugged into this solderless connector adapter that I made to plug into the main adapter we're featuring on today's episode. And that enables me to not have to mess with these triggers, just use the buttons on the face of the controller. Drat. All right. Close. Oh no. There's a technique. You got to get under them, but you also have to be near the front of them to take them out. Just avoid that one. Get out of there. so couldn't quite get to the next phase. I'm going to have to practice that one up a little bit. But it definitely works well, and I would like to show you a different controller next. All right, let's try some missile command. The original Wiko command control joystick made for the 5200 really does look like this, except its base is black and all the red is here just like this. This is red, the buttons are red. But this was made for the PC, so I've got it plugged into my PC to 5200 adapter. And interestingly, I have my Wiko command control keypad connected, so it's kind of like all Wiko right now. Now the neat thing about this joystick, if you want to play the game, it has recentering, and you know, for 5200 games, you kind of sometimes want recentering. But in certain 5200 games, recentering is really not what you want. And this would be one of those games, an example of a game where you don't want to recenter. So the nice thing about the Wiko is you can unlatch these and it becomes a dead fish stick, which basically means to me it's great for pinpoint accuracy, and there's no recentering, so you don't have to worry about things always coming back to the center. So you can kind of position it where you want it. Watch this. So in a way, it's kind of like trackball control. But yeah, there are a few 5200 games where you kind of don't want recentering, and this would be one of them. Uh-oh, I think I'm in trouble. Yeah, I couldn't quite get it exactly where I wanted because I've not practiced a lot, I have to admit, with this. It's definitely an interesting way to play the game, though. Yay. Okay. So we'll try another game, this time probably recentering controller. All right, so we got Tempest up on the screen. You guys probably get sick of me playing Tempest on my Wired Up Retro channel, but man, I love this game. And there are some really neat controllers to use with this. My favorite's the trackball. This is going to be an analog stick. Might as well try a joystick on the game, and we'll see how it plays. I'm used to that trackball. All right. I'm also used to using a right hand to play this game, and this is a lefty joystick, which may not be the ideal for me, since I really like using my right hand to play games like this. But as you can see, I can go slow, and I can also, you know, go from slow to quicker to really fast. So it's fully analog, and that makes this kind of an extra special joystick. Oh man, they got me. All right. So maybe I could use this for a game that might even be better. I think this is probably best as a trackball title. All right, let's use the QuickShot QS172A to play Gyrus. This is kind of like Tempest. It's a go around in a circle kind of game, so let's give it a try. Now I'm used to playing this game, again, with a right-handed control method. My favorite way to play this game is with an Atari 2600 trackball. And you do that with a Master Play clone, or you use another Ikonsgr 74 adapter from eBay that allows you to use Genesis controllers and Atari controllers on your Atari 5200. And I've demonstrated that in one of my other videos in the past. But yeah, that can be a whole lot of fun. But I'm getting the hang of this. I definitely am going to say this takes a little practice, but I like it. Now this really isn't an analog game. It's just you have to get the stick moved out to the perimeter and just roll it around. That's how you play this game. It's digital controls. Oh. It definitely has a similar play mechanic to Tempest, but it's not an analog experience. But it's still fun. Ah, they always get you on the sides. On to Neptune. All right, let's try another game. I have more controllers to show you, goodness sakes. I would like to play Joust with an analog stick on this MakoPad PC. This one, you don't need to make a solderless connector adapter. It just works great. The buttons on the face of the controller work, and you get the thumbstick to play the game with. So let's see how well I can do here. This is one of those games that probably is best with a D-pad, I think. I don't know. It's definitely something that's an acquired taste. I have gotten used to playing this with a D-pad, and the thumbstick is, I would say, kind of challenging to learn. There we go. This is what I call Flappy Bird for smart people. Ah. There we go. Got him, got him. Oh, he got me. All right. I'm actually getting used to the control here with that analog stick. I like it. I mean, it just took me a minute to adapt. Nice. All right. Oh, that pterodactyl is going to show up pretty soon. I better get busy here. Oh. Got him. Got him. Got him. Oh, he got me. Man. Oh, he got me. That pterodactyl better not show up. Beautiful. Got it. Oh, he got me. Almost got 50,000 points. Moving along here pretty well. Oh, he got me. Daggone pterodactyl. Isn't it? Oh, now the game is over. That's it. Okay, I had a lot of fun in this video today. definitely enjoyed making it, and I hope you guys enjoy this new product. And if you haven't had a PC to 5200 controller adapter, it's a real treat to own. It works with digital and analog controllers, which makes it extra special. And I definitely like some of these old school controllers. Some have some features that are really interesting, and some have features that, you know, you probably won't find nowadays. So I would definitely look into getting this. It's a reasonable price. You can hit them up on eBay. I'll provide the link in the description, and you can go there and pick one up. The wait time for it, since he's out in Greece, if you're here in the States, might be a couple of weeks. With the way things have been going lately with the mail, give him an extra additional week or two on top of that, but hopefully you can get it pretty quickly. All right, so the next episode I'm going to be showing something having to do with Star Wars, the arcade game, played on the GameCube with a flight yoke. So I'm sure there'll be some of you out there who really enjoyed the actual arcade game of Star Wars and want to be able to play in a similar way at your home. So I've got a new way to do that, and again, it's an adapter that I've not talked about on this channel ever before. So we'll show that off a little bit. It'll be a pretty quick video because it's you know, straightforward. We're just going to play the game a little bit with it, but we'll have a lot of fun. If you haven't subscribed, definitely give us a subscribe, and I would definitely appreciate any likes, thumbs up that you give us, and I look forward to interacting with you in the comments. And I'm also on the Facebook group Atariage, and from time to time I post a video there, so make sure you comment there if you're a Facebooker. And I'm also on Twitter, so definitely check me out on Twitter. Handle is shown below. And I do have a Patreon account. If you choose to provide a little bit of help to the channel, I greatly appreciate that, to any of you out there who want to do that. All right, great talking to you. We'll talk to you in the near future. Take care.